Baklava, /bklv/ /bklv/ or /bklv/ Ottoman Turkish, bklv, is a rich, sweet pastry made of layers of filo filled with chopped nuts and sweetened and held together with syrup or honey. It is characteristic of the cuisines of the former Ottoman Empire, and is also found in Central and Southwest Asia. The word baklava is first attested in English in 1650, a borrowing from Ottoman Turkish /bklv/. The name baklava is used in many languages with minor phonetic and spelling variations. The origin of the name is disputed. The Turkish etymologist Sevan Nişanyan claims an Old Turkish origin, baqla or baqa. Buell argues that the word baklava may come from the Mongolian root bala to tie, wrap up, pile up, composed with the Turkic verbal ending v. Bala itself in Mongolian is a Turkic loanword. Though the suffix va with makron might suggest a Persian origin, the baqla part does not appear to be Persian. Another form of the word is also recorded in Persian, bāqlabā. The Arabic name baklağu is doubtless a borrowing from Turkish, though a folk etymology, unsupported by Webster's dictionary, connects it to Arabic /baqla/bean. History. Turkish baklava served with kaymak and pistachios, typical of Turkey. Although the history of baklava is not well documented, there is evidence that its current form was developed in the imperial kitchens of the Topkapı Palace in Istanbul. The Sultan presented trays of baklava to the Janissaries every 15th of the month of Ramadan in a ceremonial procession called the baklava alay. Two well-supported proposals for the pre-Ottoman roots of this Istanbul dessert are that it came from a Central Asian Turkic tradition of layered breads, or that it came from Roman placenta cake, part of the Byzantine culinary traditions of the city of Istanbul, which had been the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire. One source writes that baklava was already present in a 13th-century Turkish cookbook and as such can be considered the Turkish dessert with the strongest links to pre-Anatolian Turkish cuisine. The tradition of layered breads by Turkic peoples in Central Asia has been suggested as the missing link between the Central Asian folded or layered breads, which did not include nuts, and modern filo-based pastries like baklava would be the Azerbaijani dish baklava, which involves layers of dough and nuts. Clarification needed. The Uzbek baklava, puskal or yupka, and Tatar yoka, sweet and salty savories, boreks, prepared with 10-12 layers of dough, are other early examples of layered dough style in Turkic regions. The practice of stretching raw dough into paper-thin sheets probably evolved in the kitchens of the Topkapı Palace, based on Central Asian prototypes. One of the oldest known recipes for a sort of proto-baklava is guluk, also found in Turkish cuisine. It consists of layers of filo dough that are put one by one in warmed-up milk with sugar. It is served with walnut and fresh pomegranate and generally eaten during Ramadan. The first known documentation of guluk is in a food and health manual written in 1330 that documented primarily Mongol Turkic foods called Yinshan Genjeo, which was written by Huzawai, who was a Turkic physician to the Mongol court of the Yuan dynasty. Other sources state that baklava originated earlier in Roman cuisine, and its successor, Byzantine cuisine. Indeed, nut and honey-based sweets were popular ancient desserts. Patrick Foss states that the honey-covered baked layered dough dessert placenta of Roman times was the origin of baklava. The Greeks and the Turks still argue over which dishes were originally Greek and which Turkish. Baklava, for example, is claimed by both countries. Greek and Turkish cuisine both built upon the cookery of the Byzantine Empire, which was a continuation of the cooking of the Roman Empire. Roman cuisine had borrowed a great deal from the ancient Greeks, but placenta, and hence baklava, had a Latin, not a Greek, origin. Please note that the conservative, anti-Greek Cato left us this recipe. Also, placenta played a traditional role in ancient Roman religion. In Greek the word pleikos, Greek, pi lambda alpha kappa omicron, was used for Latin placenta, and the Byzantine scholar Sparus Vryanes describes one type of pleikos, Copto-pleikos, Byzantine Greek, kappa omicron pi tau omicron pi lambda alpha kappa omicron, as a Byzantine favorite and the same as the Turkish baklava, referring ultimately to Book 14 of the Deep Nosophisti, as do other writers. Shape the placenta as follows: Place a single row of tracta along the whole length of the base dough. This is then covered with the mixture cheese and honey from the mortar. Place another row of tracta on top and go on doing so until all the cheese and honey have been used up. Finish with a layer of tracta. Place the placenta in the oven and put a preheated lid on top of it. When ready, honey is poured over the placenta. There are also similarities between baklava and the ancient Greek gastries, gamma sigma tau rho iota, cop sesames, kappa omicron pi tau sigma eta sigma alpha mu, and copton, kappa omicron pi tau nu. Gastries is said to have contained a filling of nuts and honey, while its outer layers were made of a honey and ground sesame mixture similar to modern pastili or halva. It is said that al-Baghdadi describes something similar to baklava in his 13th century cookbook. However, Claudia finds no evidence for it in Arab or even medieval Persian sources and suggests it arrived in the region during the Ottoman period. Preparation. Baklava is normally prepared in large pans. Many layers of filo dough, separated with melted butter, are laid in the pan. A layer of chopped nuts, typically walnuts or pistachios, but hazelnuts are also sometimes used, is placed on top, then more layers of filo. Most recipes have multiple layers of filo and nuts, though some have only top and bottom pastry. Before baking, the dough is cut into regular pieces, often parallelograms, lozenge-shaped, triangles, or rectangles. A syrup, which may include honey, rose water, or orange flower water, is poured over the cooked baklava and allowed to soak in. Baklava is usually served at room temperature, often garnished with ground nuts. Regional variations. In Turkey, baklava is traditionally made by filling between the layers of dough with pistachios, walnuts, almonds, parts of the Aegean region, or a special preparation called kaymak, not to be confused with kaymak. In the Black Sea region, hazelnuts are commonly used as a filling for baklava. The city of Gaziantep in southeast Turkey is famous for its pistachio baklava, and it regards itself as the native city for this dish, though it only appears to have been introduced to Gaziantep from Damascus in 1871. In 2008, the Turkish Patent Office registered a geographical indication for Antep baklava, and in 2013, Antep baklavas or Gaziantep baklavas was registered as a protected geographical indication by the European Commission. In many parts of Turkey, baklava is often topped with kaymak or, in the summer, ice cream, milk cream flavor, called kaymaklı dondurma. In Greece, baklava is supposed to be made with 33 dough layers, referring to the years of Christ's life. In Albania, the dough may include egg yolks, and the filling uses walnuts. In Bulgaria, Croatia, Macedonia, and Serbia, baklava is made with walnuts and sugar syrup. In the Balkans, it is a popular dessert. It is also made on special occasions, especially by Muslims during the holy month of Ramadan and Eid ul-Fitr, and by Christians during Pascha and Christmas. In Armenia, baklava is made with cinnamon and cloves. In Azerbaijan, baklava is mostly prepared during the Nowruz festivity. After preparation, the baklava is cut into diamond shapes and each piece is garnished with an almond or a walnut. In Afghanistan and Cyprus, baklava is prepared into triangle-shaped pieces and is lightly covered in crushed pistachio nuts. In Georgia, baklava is made with honey, sugar, walnuts, vanilla, butter, and sour cream. In Iran, a drier version of baklava is cooked and presented in smaller diamond-shaped cuts flavored with rose water. The cities of Yazd and Kashvan are famous for their baklava, which is widely distributed in Iran. Persian baklava uses a combination of chopped almonds and pistachios spiced with cardamom and a rose water-scented syrup and is lighter than Middle Eastern versions. In Israel, baklava is made of filo pastry sheets, nuts, such as pistachios, walnuts, hazelnuts, and almonds, sweet butter, clove, sugar, cinnamon, and the syrup combined with orange and lemon rind. Citation needed. In Jordan, baklava is made of dough layers filled with nuts, such as pistachios, and sugar or honey syrup. In Lebanon, baklava is made of filo pastry filled with nuts and steeped in attar syrup, orange or rose water or sugar, or honey. It is usually cut into triangular or diamond shapes. In Syria, baklava is prepared from filo dough sheets, butter, walnuts, and sugar syrup. It is cut into lozenge pieces.